Hi folks, and we are back to Fallout New Vegas with Beretta. We're at the Bloodborne Cave and have been tasked with finding a bunch of stalker eggs. Easier said than done. I am not too sure we haven't been here before. We'll soon find out. If there's stalkers in here, we haven't. Oh, there's an overlook. Ah. And that is apparently the legendary Night Stalker. So that definitely means we have not been here before. Because if we had, there would be no alive legendary Deathstalker. And we haven't definitely not met a legendary Deathstalker. How it is in our database remains to be seen. Right, well, seems like we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. They don't want to let us shoot them from here. Maybe if we drew them in with mines and or grenades. Or just shoot them in the face. That also works. That typically also works. There's sulfurous buildup here. Nothing we can make use of, though. No, doesn't seem like it. Actually, if we are hidden, we may just be able to get a few sniper shots in. Oh, there's a grated off area. I don't see any Night Stalkers over there. Okay. And, very hard. Okay, so the other way. I broke a lockpick. That way? No. Further this way. Alright. Tripwire to disarm, that's fine. And what was it? Tripping. I don't see a grenade bouquet or anything. Huh. Right. Some 12-7. I'll take that. All drugged up. Didn't survive. And whoo, that is a lot of money. Okay. Take all of it. Thank you. Thank you. So, I see some flickering, but may just be luminosity. Not necessarily a Night Stalker. Huh. Well, there's definitely dead people around here. And for people to die, there's usually a cause like that. That is the likely cause.
First.
Yeah. There's another one.
I guess that could have gone worse.
Certainly. Certainly could have. Could also have got a lot better. A knife. That's not really worth carrying, is it? Nothing of interest around these rock formations. That was just a young'un. Another young one. A lot of footsteps before ours. People coming in, not many people coming out. Like that poor fella. Legionary. Barely worth taking the machete, but... Ooh, there is... okay.
Can't wait to see where this is going.
Yeah. Now we're gonna throw a grenade. Move back. And wait. Woohoo! There we go. Now that was a cleanup. Legendary Night Stalker. Okay. Well, didn't think we were ever going to see such a thing, but there it is. But as with all foul and fell beasts, good old human tactics can find a way through. And we've got what we needed. But I see, yes, I see stuff. Like a hunting shotgun. That's not bad. And, oh, there we go. Hunting revolver. Nothing under the pots. No. Okay. I think we should be doing here... I wouldn't mind. Yeah, let's get a couple of those. And might as well, sure. Gecko kebabs are pretty good. maybe one Hydra. And a couple of party time mentats. Man, we have a lot of gecko meat. A lot of gecko meat. Maybe 5 is more than enough. Whatever is left here. Oh, actually, we're a bit peckish. Well, let's have some of the stuff we cooked. Why not? Have a dog steak. Anything else for us to see here? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. Actually. Yeah, almost missed that. NCR Trooper... nothing really worth taking, with the exception of their service rifle. Right. So, ill-fated all of these expeditions, but both NCR and Legion. But that is just how the stars align, where the Legion have failed, where the NCR have failed. We do not. That will be the future of the Mojave. This is a perfect parable of what will happen. Maybe not the part about us killing all the wildlife, but then again, we have been doing a lot of that. I think yeah, we got was here, right? There we go. Where we head out? Where are we heading? Supposed to go to talk to the Red Lucy, yes. Go to the bunker, sure. But before any of that, yeah, might as well wrap things up in the east here. Go to Camp Forlorn Hope. Possibly stop by... possibly stop by Camp Golf. So, we're going straight south? Can we? Oh no, that's the lake. So I need to go way southwest for a while, so we can cross by Camp Golf, actually. Or next to Camp Golf, and then to Forlorn Hope, and possibly back to Camp Golf. Now, the important thing to know, or find out, are there any death claws left over there that we have to kill? I think Eddie has given us the answer. And the answer is, of course there are. They are killing something. That isn't death claws, apparently. So you might have a brawl breaking out of not death claw related creatures. Huh, okay. Does seem like it had been in a brawl. Otherwise, I don't think that single shot would have...
Looks like break time's over.
...done them. Where? Ah, well, if you start shooting, of course they're coming. So don't start shooting, is my advice. All we want is to cross over here. Oh, come on. Oh, that was a blind deathclaw. This is one of the tough ones. All we want is go over the hill here. We didn't want to hurt anyone, you just forced our hand. And I see, well, maybe another deathclaw. We will possibly not have to find out. It's right next to Camp Golf, so I don't think it's a deathclaw. NCR would have taken care of it. Wouldn't they? Maybe bloatflies or something. Well, in any case, I think you can just walk by, waltz through. Whatever it was. And go as the crow flies to Forlorn Hope. Again, possibly for the last time before the great battle. Going straight through the misfits. They're probably doing well, right? Food tent. Well, I guess we won't find out. Oh yeah, we can cross there, can't we? Well, I could just swim over anyway, but I think we can cross, yeah. There we go. Sun setting over a great big body of clean, drinkable water. Future of the Mojave. That's what we're looking at here. Hoover Dam and Lake Mead. Eddie's saying that there's something over there. Maybe he detected an underwater cave or something. Probably. I thought we had visited, well, next to the bomber we did, but maybe there's more. We haven't fully explored all of the depths of Lake Mead. So who knows what wonders and horrors lie down there. It's a big, big, big lake. Legion ominously looking over us. Just you wait. They'll get theirs soon enough. Once we wrap up everything we need to do, we'll show them what's what. We'll show them what's what. Should be able to see the tower, yes. Boulder City. Really is a wreck. The Legion won't be able to come through here. Not easily. It's almost a relief. How much more peaceful the Mojave is progressively becoming. Calm before the storm. It's only the calm before the storm. We can cross right here, can't we? No Legion war parties trying to sneak by, at least. Man, these canyons and gorges are always surprisingly steep. Is there a way in this way? Soldier.
Hey.
At ease. Forward command post. First recon still here. Tech Sergeant.
Welcome back.
Glad to be back. The Rangers' versions of the reports they sent to Camp Golf do not match what he received.
I knew it. Every one of the false reports was signed off by Chief Hanlon at Camp Golf. But why would the Chief manipulate the reports? I need you to take everything we found to Chief Hanlon and confront him with it. I don't want to make this public unless we have to.
I'll see what I can do.
Bye.
Chief Hanlon. Their aide, maybe? Something's wrong at Camp Golf. Seriously wrong at Camp Golf. Right, so. Right. We go by Camp Golf. That we just came from. We'll go to the Thorn right after that. See if Red Lucy wants something else on top of Night Stalker eggs. I have a feeling sooner or later she'll tell us, I want to get some hyper-radioactive, blind, super muscular... Is there any type of, maybe not. Deathclaw eggs. Something like that. Then we need... to check out this mysterious wreckage that has been lingering in the back of my mind for seems like an eternity now, since we first came down from Good Springs to the Mojave outpost. It seemed harmless enough from the outside, but strangely ominous. Look at that landscape. The ultraviolet filtering through the atmosphere. You can feel how heavy the air is, even though it's dry. Something's aggressive over there. Alright. Back from whence we came. This is what we'll have to deal with in the future once the Mojave is reorganized. As any military expert will tell you, it's logistics, logistics, logistics. Getting things from point A to point B. In this case, our heinies. We need to get our heinies back to Camp Golf. The light bouncing off those bricks almost made them seem like trees. Come on, I need to pick up the pace. The concrete making facility, the cement crusher, and whatnot. Inoperable, or at least not in operation. Yeah, I guess why. We did resolve the issues they were having at the quarry in Sloan. We resolved the issues they were having with the correctional facility, so the train lines should be up and running soon, I would assume. Yeah, Eddie is definitely telling us there's something out there. Nothing we can see, though. This is the lifeblood of the Mojave. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay. You're coming to bother us. I'll get you first. Ah, there's more. I never travel alone.
Hey!
Guess that could have gone worse.
Certainly. Ah, little devil. Tiny. Packs a wallop of a punch, though. Barely uses any of our computing power on the Pip-Boy to aim. When you absolutely positively have to Pip-Vats everyone in the room except no substitutes. So let's figure out what the hell is going on here. Ah, they actually do have ancient golf carts lying around. Interesting. House Resort. There's something very wrong with this place. I can feel it in my bones.
Monster of the East, huh? Well, I've got the Monster of the West in my holster right now. Hope I get to introduce them.
Okay, there's an office.
First recons in Camp Forlorn.
Monster of the East, huh? Well, I've got the Monster of the West in my
Wish I
holster
could have
right
been
now.
there to see Caesar die.
Hope I get to
What an
introduce him.
asshole. Hello?
Yeah, something very, very wrong in this place. Hard to understand how no one else sees it.
Hey. Hey.
Whoa, quite a view. Ah. You may just be the man we're looking for, Chief Hanlon.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. Lakes, I mean. Natural or man-made. Any kind, really. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens, Isabella, the San Luis. Drained the aquifers of everything they had. Just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feeling watching the sun come up over the water. Takes some getting used to. But if you're here long enough, it starts to seem normal. That's what a ranger's life is now, looking east. You must be the courier folks have been talking about. Word on the radio is that someone wronged you back in Good Springs. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up, but it sounds like you've done right by the NCR. It's appreciated. Now what can I do for you?
Well, to begin with, who are you?
Folks around here call me the Chief, but Hanlon's just fine. The Rangers run themselves pretty well, but I try to lend a hand. Mostly administrative work, helping coordinate intel on the radio. That and keeping an eye on the fires growing across the water.
Coordinate the intel. I'm interested in that. How?
It's a simple system when it works. Patrol Rangers radio intel to ranger stations. Comm Rangers send the intel up the station chain until it reaches Camp Golf. Then I or one of the other Rangers on duty organize the data, evaluate it, and send information to camps or troopers in the field.
I see. Why don't the ranger stations send the intel directly to troopers?
Comm rangers might have an incomplete picture of the situation. There's a lot going on out there. Intel needs to be coordinated through Gulf so we can verify and advise appropriately. Troopers have enough to deal with. We don't want them questioning their intel.
Sure. Anything about the intel problems you might want to address?
I don't know, Technical Sergeant Reyes, but coordinating intel can be messy sometimes. Things get mixed up, people get confused. Heck, I get confused, and I've been doing this for a long time now. What he or she sees as a problem might be standard operating procedure. That's not to say Reyes is wrong for being concerned, but it's easy for the sand to get in your eyes out here.
Or in your head? Any advice?
Well, the logical thing to do is to check with the patrol rangers and comm officers. Don't be too discouraged if some things don't match up. Different people see different things, and sometimes the meaning gets twisted, lost in static from person to person.
I see someone trying to twist things, certainly. Let's talk about something else.
Shoot.
I may have to. I'm investigating some intel problems for Technical Sergeant Reyes.
Interesting that she would wrangle someone else into sorting out the problem. But I suppose you're in the right place. A lot of intel comes through here.
Indeed.
Shoot.
Before we go for the jugular, what are your thoughts on the NCR and how it's doing?
Mojave Outpost sent word through the stations. The Rangers coming up from Baja moved through Dayglow a week ago. Some of the patrol rangers have reported that Oliver's power armor heavy troopers are starting to reinforce the front lines. Wish they got here a bit earlier, but that's the Senate for you.
Yeah, democracy is a bitch. Much easier to be an autocratic megalomaniac. What about these heavy troopers?
They have the best equipment the NCR can get its hands on. Power armor salvaged from our war with the Brotherhood. Techs strip out the joint servos so you don't need special training to wear it. It feels like you're carrying a Brahmin on your back, but it can take a heck of a lot of punishment.
I can vouch for that. What about the Rangers?
The Baja Rangers can do more advanced night scouting and sharpshooting to assist the troopers. Ranger combat helmets are old pre-war gear. They have built-in low-light optics. Makes a big difference.
I would assume it would.
Shoot.
How about Caesar?
The best of the best, worst of the worst. He came out of NCR, one of the followers of the apocalypse. Like a lot of the followers, he went out in the wilderness with a partner to try to help those who needed helping. Not much different from how the Rangers used to be, except with books and medicine instead of guns.
And he succeeded, at least in part.
Out to the Grand Canyon. He met a missionary from Utah.
I know the
by
man.
the name of Joshua Graham. Graham helped translate for the followers and the tribes. All three of them got nabbed by the Blackfoots down there, back when they were still at war with every other tribe in the Southwest.
How do you reckon a follower wound up becoming Caesar?
Somewhere along the way, he realized he needed to educate the Blackfoots or they were going to get wiped out with the rest of the tribe. Showed them how to use guns, how to make explosives. Once he taught the Blackfoots a thing or two, they needed him. And he no longer needed the followers, NCR, or anyone else. He decided he could remake the tribes of the Southwest whether they wanted it or not. He became Caesar, and Joshua Graham became his legate, his right hand. And that's where Graham stayed until Hoover Dam.
Where he lost the Battle of Hoover Dam.
Losing the dam was the worst defeat the Legion ever suffered. Graham had been with Caesar since the beginning, but he had to set an example. The Praetorians covered Graham in pitch, lit him on fire, and down into the Grand Canyon he went.
And that was the end of him, according to you?
It's not that clear-cut.
Indeed.
You have to understand, Graham was the toughest son of a gun anyone around these parts had ever seen. Before Hoover, we had 5 kill reports on Graham from Rangers and 1st Recon sharpshooters who tried to take him out. Some folks think he's still alive. Call him the Burned Man.
Oh, yeah. I can vouch for that. Talked to him face to face. And the Blackfoots are still part of the Legion.
Yes and no. The Blackfoots don't exist anymore. Just like any other tribe that gets swallowed by the Legion. Caesar takes the tribal out of the tribe. Scrapes and burns off tattoos, breaks up families, forces mixed breeding so all the old loyalties die away. The only tribe in the Legion is the Legion. Caesar is their chief, father, and god, all rolled into one.
An effective, if brutal, policy.
Shoot.
And what's your thoughts on what the Legion's been up to?
Word is that the Legion's old-timers have shown up. Caesar's veterans from the Red Okie Centuria and what was the Painted Rock tribe.
Red Okie Centuria.
They're the best of the best and the baddest of the bad. Short of a Centurion or Praetorian, they don't come any tougher. You come across a pack of them, weigh your options carefully.
Well, I shoot them. What makes these veterans so tough?
Take a regular legionary and age him 10 years. Whatever they lose to age, they make up for with experience. Life expectancy isn't long in the Legion. You live 10 years in Caesar's army, you're a force to be reckoned with.
A centurion, mayhaps.
There's no real equivalent to them in the NCR. Centurions are battle-born elite officers who earn their rank with blood and sweat. They wear special outfits, too. Pieced together from the armor
I've
of all
seen
their
them.
defeated enemies.
More than one.
Good commanders. Tough opponents.
Not as tough as Praetorians.
Caesar's elite guard. They travel with him wherever he goes. A bit of insurance in case any of his guests get funny ideas. They aren't the toughest legionaries, but they're the most devoted to Caesar. They believe in everything the Legion stands for. Shoot.
And the
I
Rangers
could tell
here.
you a lot if you had the time, but at my age, I'm not sure which of us would get tired first. What do you want to know?
What stories you have to tell to get you to this?
Suppose it depends on what you think's good. Most folks want to hear about Hoover Dam and Boulder City, but it's a long story. If you want some tall tales about hunting down slavers or busting up gangs, talk to one of the younger Rangers.
Must be something good the Rangers have done you're proud of.
It's kind of a long one, but all right. About 25 years ago, a group of NCR settlers pushed way south into Baja. I guess it doesn't seem so far now if you look at a map, but back then they were out of ways. They built this little shanty town around a well in the middle of nowhere. Called it Rattletail.
Rattletail.
Word got back to one of our stations that raiders had been attacking the place. I went out with 6 Rangers. We must have been on the trail for a week before we got to Rattletail. We lost one woman to night stalkers and another almost died of dehydration. When we reached the place, it's 6 shacks set up around an old well.
Hence the name. Like a rattletail in the hole?
There's over 24 bodies lying in the dunes way outside of town and 5 men with 308 rifles crouched behind sandbags. And these bodies, these people out in the sand, they aren't raiders, aren't even heavily armed. They're just people who were trying to get to the only well in 50 miles. I didn't have to talk to the men to see that they did not care one bit. They had planted an NCR flag over the well, and they would not budge until every last one of them was laid out dead and cold. So I walked up and told them there was a group of raiders coming, 100 strong. I made up some cockamamie name for them and everything. The men looked at each other, looked at us, and asked me what we were going to do about it. I told them we would take them back into NCR territory because we'd already lost 10 Rangers on the way out. 10 Rangers, 5 men with 308 rifles. Well, that was enough for them. They packed up what they could and we took them back north. Last I heard, they settled somewhere in Anza Borrego. Raised bighorners. Had some tough times, but it worked out okay for them. So there you go. That's my one bit of good.
So, telling high tales taken straight out of your ass to get people to do what you think is best. I see your modus operandi, so what have you got to say about Hoover Dam and Boulder City?
In big battles, Caesar deploys his legionaries in waves. Recruits up front, prime soldiers behind the recruits, old guard bringing up the rear. Opponents wear themselves out dealing with the first 2 waves, if they survive that long. When the veterans step up, there's not much fight left.
Hastati et principes.
Caesar can adapt, though, and when required, he can run any mix of legionaries as skirmishers and still retain order in the ranks.
Right, because once the Hastati and principes have gone, you have the veterans, the Triari. You usually don't want to have to use them, but, you know, if it's done to the Triari, it's usually enough to win the battle.
Joshua Graham, Caesar's old legate, he wasn't so flexible. When the Legion attacked Hoover Dam, General Oliver ordered his troopers back to the middle ground just after first contact. Graham pushed all of the legionaries onto the dam, filling the east side with recruits up front and veterans in the back, by the book. But once they were in, they were stuck there. Oliver's troopers were entrenched and wouldn't give a foot. That's when we ordered the Rangers and the 1st Recon sharpshooters to start picking off veteran Legion officers from a high ridge west of the dam. That only lasted about a minute before Graham ordered the back ranks to push through to the front and rush the ridge. By the time the veterans got to the ridge, we were already in Boulder City. They followed us down there, but we were out before they realized what was happening.
A trap.
We had packed the old city with C4 and dynamite. Crude, but it did the job. Those who didn't die in the blast were in no position to mount a defense. The ones left on the dam didn't know what to do. The troopers routed them. Graham pulled the remaining legionaries back, but the battle was over. He went south, back to the Grand Canyon, back to Caesar. And that was the last we saw or heard from Joshua Graham.
Maybe you.
Shoot.
Look, Chief Hanlon. I know you're the one who's been manipulating intelligence data.
Hold on. If we're gonna have this conversation, let's go somewhere more private. Don't worry, not much bite left in this old dog.
That's a mighty nice piece you've got there. I'm keeping an eye on it, so don't reach for it. I can very much see that there's a lot wrong in this place. Just look at this. How can you live in such a delusion? This is clearly not a proper NCR headquarters. The walls are closing in on you, or rather floating. Is that why you're going crazy? Is that why the walls around your office, the only place you feel safe? Those
Wish I could have been there to see Caesar
are solid,
die. What an asshole.
but none of the others?
Hey,
Is this his mental palace? Are we in his delusion?
first recon's in camp.
So many
Hope.
questions.
Get some rangers in there too, and it'll be a damned impregnable fortress.
Chief.
First recon's at Camp Forlorn Hope.
Patrolling the Mojave.
Sorting and manipulating intelligence is what I do. It's what Rangers are supposed to do. This job isn't all gunfighting and gulping shots of whiskey, no matter what the boys and ladies out there say.
But you're making this up. You're inventing your own intelligence reports. I've seen the logs. I've talked to the Rangers.
You have you? Misdirection. When you're pinned down, outnumbered, and 2 days from any help, it's just about the best friend you can have. Misdirection's what saved me all these years. It's what saved us at Hoover Dam. But it's been 5 years now, and Caesar's right across that lake. He's closer now than he ever was before. I was a young man once. I know what it's like to want to fight for your home. But this isn't it.
How does spreading false intelligence help the NCR fight Caesar's Legion in any way?
People back home don't listen. They don't care. Senators, Brahmin barons, folks who are just trying to make it from day to day. It's been so many years that people forget about it. Conscription brings in fresh troops to die here every month, like it's routine. And even if we hold this dam, what then? Are we going to send the NCR's men and women to die here for another 5 years? 10? Patrol the whole length of the Colorado for hundreds of miles? Holding this dam, it'll be the death of us.
If you have no electricity, if you have no water, how is that not death of you? Aren't you fighting for the people of New Vegas as well?
We're fighting on their behalf, but Mr. House and the families are stringing us up inch by inch. They'll drain us dry while we fight and die over this dam. We offered them sanctuary in NCR territory before, but they won't listen. Troopers and Rangers have been dying here for more than 5 years while the families sit pretty behind that damn wall.
Well. And is that why you did it? Spite? Envy? An inflated sense of the NCR holding some power over people that are not part of it?
It's never gonna end, this fight with Caesar. People back home don't know what these young men and women are in for. The Legion is the worst enemy we've ever faced. But we can't stop Caesar here. Not without getting a lot of good people killed. More than anyone cares to count up.
Everyone dies.
But even if we do stop him, I don't see how we're ever going to be able to pull out.
Well, you lack vision. Not everyone else is in the same boat. What do you think I should do about this? Now.
First thing that comes to mind is to turn me in. But that might not be the best play, all things considered. Even if your heart's in the right place, I reckon it might do a lot more harm than good.
What will you do if I don't turn you in?
Oliver can't stand that Rangers got credit for victory at Hoover. Whatever I recommend, he does the opposite. I said I wanted us on the ridge. He put them right on the western part of the dam itself. We don't have enough firepower to hold that spot. If the troopers fall back, and they will, the Rangers will advance to cover Oliver's retreat. We lose the dam, Oliver and the Senator are ruined.
Caesar's dead. The Legion can't hold stuff together for... You were talking 5 years? 10? Not a chance.
It's a gamble either way. Even with Caesar gone, we still might not outlast the Legion. I suppose that's a risk I'll have to take. For our sake, I hope you're right. I guess that I should thank you for bringing me to my senses. So, Thanks. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna walk out that door and pretend we never had this talk.
He almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Be a damn impregnable fortress.
Wish I could have been there to see Caesar die. What an asshole.
I hope I set him straight. Glad that this didn't have to turn ugly, one way or another. Didn't bring that much. Oh,
First
lucky
recon's
VIP
in
card.
Camp Forlorn Hope. Get some rangers in there too, and it'll be a damned impregnable fortress.
A few supplies here and there.
Hey,
Didn't get anyone killed as far as I know. And now this nonsense will have stopped once and for all. So proper allocation of people and resources. Hopefully. Hope we did some good here. Either way, he won't have much of a say once we take over. Once the people of the Mojave take over. Once you have more of a word in the future of the Mojave. So, looking at the horizon in more ways than one. No. Misclicking. What we want is to go back to Red Lucy. See what else she has in store for us. Go to the bunker. Reunite the remnants somehow. And go figure out what the hell this is. Yeah. All of that, though, is going to be next time. Until then.